Well, Team USA has officially won the men's basketball tournament at the Olympics for the fifth straight time. We also have a ton of Olympics coverage to talk about the women's soccer team winning a gold medal, some more medals on the track in the 4x400 relays, and yes, China still in front of Team USA with just 1 day of Olympics left to go. This is Coast to Coast Sports. Welcome back to the show. I hope you are all doing well. Let's talk about Team USA at this basketball game because what a fun game that was. It was close early on. France was doing everything they could to stay in the game, but Team USA was pretty clearly the better team. I mean, look, you have LeBron James, former MVP, Steph Curry, former MVP, Kevin Durant. Has he won an MVP? Joel Embiid has. I mean, it's a stacked team. Devin Booker's over there, Jason Tatum, who was riding the bench. I mean, that's how good this team was. Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo. Everybody on this team came to play. Everybody on this team came to win. But the home field was entirely a French crowd. I mean, the French came out in numbers to support their team, and kudos to them. It felt like, when I was watching that, it felt like 90% of that audience was rooting for France to win. You're not going to see, even in the NBA, most NBA games, it's not that close. It's not that much of a difference in terms of the fans, and especially not in an NBA Finals. U.S. coach Steve Kerr says he's very lucky to coach this team. It was incredible. It was incredible. Steph Curry was just out of his mind in the fourth quarter. He, with a 3-point lead, Steph Curry hits 4 3-pointers in the fourth quarter to put the game out of reach as Team USA goes on to win by 11. LeBron James had a great game, 14 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds, but it was Steph who's 24 entirely decided by his 8 threes. Steph led the way once again. His last 2 games have been so good. I mean, he picked up Team USA on his back and carried them against Serbia. And then he does this against France. Devin Booker and KD also each scoring 15 points. The USA was 18 out of 36. France was 54. The United States outscored France 54-27 from the 3 and also scored 31 off of fast breaks. France only scored 9. France cut the deficit to 82-79 with 3 minutes left. It was a 3-point game. The momentum was with France. It really felt like it could go either way at that point. But it was Curry who hit a big 3, and then KD with a couple of free throws. United States brings the lead up to 87-79, and then Curry making 3 more huge threes. Final score 96-87. With 35 seconds left, US was up by 6, and Steph made that last 3, which was the kill shot, to win by 9. The team was undefeated in Olympic play. They were undefeated in the qualifying play, and now they are Olympic champions. Steph Curry cementing his legacy. He wins his first Olympic gold medal, very much will be his last. Meanwhile, Kevin Durant, he is the first Olympian ever to win 4 Olympic gold medals. LeBron James winning his 3rd. Of course, LeBron could have won 5 gold medals if he had played in 2016 and 2021. LeBron took the last 12 years off. So LeBron could be talking about his 5th Olympic gold medal. Instead, he has 3. He won it in 2008 and 2012. Steph Curry winning his first gold medal. And there was a Joel Embiid factor to this game as well. You have to wonder. Embiid, who every time he stepped out there, he was getting booed like crazy by the French. If Joel Embiid had decided to play for France, because he has dual citizenship, so he could have, this could have been a different tournament. You know, I really felt like Joel Embiid, if he was not there against Serbia, I'm not sure Team USA beats Serbia In that case, it would have been a France versus Serbia finals. We would have get to see two former MVPs, Embiid and Jokic, facing off. And I'm not sure who wins that game. I think that's the question for Embiid. Embiid knew that if he plays for Team USA, he has the best chance of getting a medal. Even if Team USA loses to Serbia, there's no guarantee that Embiid with France beats Serbia. Serbia is really good, of course. And let's talk about Team Serbia as they played in the bronze medal game. Nikola Jokic was pissed off playing for the bronze medal. I think he wishes, and I think he knew, that Serbia was probably the Team USA's best chance of a loss. I think in Jokic and most people's minds, the semifinal was essentially the gold medal game. And yes, France did put up a fight against Team USA. Don't get me wrong. But I think Serbia is a better team than France. And they came out with something to prove. Nikola Jokic with a triple-double against Team Germany to get the win. Franz Wagner, is it? And Dennis Schroeder, they did not stand a chance. Nikola Jokic, it's the 5th triple-double in Olympic history. Final score 93-83, 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists. Serbia won silver in 2016. Nearly upset Team USA. Not able to do it. Vasil Micic added 19 points. Bojan Bogdanovic with 16 points. Last year's FIBA World Cup final was actually won by Germany against Serbia. Serbia almost came back in that game. This time, Serbia was on top the entire way. They led by 19 at one point in the third quarter. They ended up only winning by 10, so they did let Germany kind of come back. Franz Wagner and Moritz Wagner, 19 and 16 points respectively. And this is the Germans' first loss of the year. They made a late push in the fourth quarter, ended up cutting the lead to 8, but Serbia then responded with an 11-4 run to push it back to double digits in the end. So congratulations to Nikola Jokic on his first Olympic medal. Not the color he was hoping for. I think he was hoping at least for a silver medal. Instead, he's going to have to settle for the bronze. But it was an exciting game nonetheless. Good stuff out of Olympic basketball. It was an exciting tournament this year. I had a blast covering it, watching it. I'm excited to see the U.S. women play France. That should be a good game as well. Hopefully give the USA one more medal in the medal count. Team USA winning another gold medal, and the Team USA women just continue to dominate. They've now won, I believe Team USA swept it on the track in terms of the women's relays. They swept it in the pool for the women's relays. They've now also added gold medals in women's soccer. They've added a gold medal in women's volleyball. Oh no, they haven't played that game yet. They likely will win gold in women's volleyball. They are more than likely will win gold in women's basketball. I mean, what a game for what an Olympics for the Team USA women. They also won the women's gymnastic tournament. They've been so good at these Olympics. I feel like I just keep talking about Team USA women, and I have to because they've been so good. The hero of this game was Mallory Swanson. If you've heard of MLB player Dansby Swanson, that is his wife. And Mallory Swanson now can join Dansby. Dansby is a World Series champion. Mallory Swanson now an Olympic champion. With the 26-year-old scoring the game-winning goal in a 1-0 game. Unfortunately, Dansby not there to see it. What's cooler, do you think? World Series champion or Olympic champion? I would say Olympic champion. I think Mallory Swanson can now say that she officially has the cooler title. You don't get a gold medal for winning the World Series. But yeah, Team USA played a brilliant game against Brazil. It was very close. It was very defensive. It was reminiscent of the game of the last game Team USA played. very reminiscent of that game against Germany. But Team USA pulled it out. The women's national team, it's their first gold in 12 years. I feel like they're always up there of one of the best teams in the world. They definitely won a World Cup in I think maybe 5 years ago. But their last Olympic gold medal was London, so they missed out in Brazil and in Tokyo, but they're back on top now. Head coach Emma Hayes knew her first Olympic gold medal. Sophia Smith, Trinity Rodman, they joined Mallory Swanson on top of the podium. Sophia Smith had a really good Olympics. Swanson's goal came in the 57th minute, and from there it was all defense. Corbin Albert set up with the assist. Goalkeeper Alyssa Naher made a one-handed save on a header by Adriana in the 4th minute of stoppage time. And yeah, Naher had a great match. Brazil was a lot more aggressive as far as coming out on offense on the attack. Naher, according to the stats sheet, made 4 saves, but as USA Today writes, it felt more like she made 14 saves, and every single one of them was huge. She had a huge one in the first half against Gabby Portillo to keep it scoreless. Naomi Girma was a brick wall on the back line. The Americans were on their heels. At the end of the first half, it was tied, but then in the second half, they came out, they got the goal, and they win the gold medal. Exciting, emotional. The USA players dogpiled each other as Born in the USA played over the PA system. So Team USA women, they are carrying right now. The men, what are the men doing? We'll get to that in just a second. Records were falling everywhere. In the women's 4x400 relay on the track, 5 countries setting new records for their country. Team France ran in 3 minutes 21.41. Ireland, 3 minutes 19 seconds 0.9. Great Britain took the bronze, 3 minutes 19.72. Great Britain barely edging out their rival Ireland for that one. The Netherlands at 3:19.5, but with a 4-second lead. It was Team USA, 3 minutes 15.27 seconds. Gabby Thomas and Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone. So again, we're seeing a track athlete run in the regular sprint races, which is kind of cool. And it was Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone who took the initial she took the initial leg and she built a huge lead. She was way out in front. It was crazy. I mean, Britain and Ireland were back there battling for second, and kudos to them. They had a really nice race. I don't want to take anything away from what they did. Fastest time that either country has ever run, but Team USA was just way out in front. It was a domination. And again, we keep talking about Team USA women, but they're just too good. We have to keep talking about them. I mean, it's wild to me what Team USA women have been able to do at these Olympics. If USA is going to win more gold medals than China, it's because of the women. Team USA clocking the second quickest time in history. It was a star-studded foursome. Gabby Thomas ran the final leg. Femke Bol had led the Dutch to victory in the 4x400 relay, but she was not able to bridge the gap. Team Netherlands still winning the silver. Good for them. The Netherlands has had a sneaky good Olympics this year. And then Great Britain with the bronze. Jamaica was going to be in the mix for a medal as well, but Andronette Knight dropped the baton. She bumped Ireland's Rasidat Adeleke on the second leg. Tough break for Team Jamaica. Shamir Little put the U.S. in front. Handed off to McLaughlin. McLaughlin dazzled on her lap. By the time Alexis Holmes had the baton, Team USA was already pretty much a guarantee to win. What an event for Team USA's women. A blowout win, a dominant win. Go Team USA. The Team USA men's team did set a new Olympic record on the track in the men's 4x400 relay. Rai Benjamin, who is a hurdler, but also runs without the hurdles, which is kind of huge, honestly. So he runs part of the 4x400 team. He's also a 400-meter hurdler. He took the baton in the final leg and held off Botswana's Leslie Tebogo. We've talked about Tebogo already because he had the upset win in the 200-meter race. But Tebogo, running in the 400-meter for Team Botswana, almost pulled off a crazy comeback, what would have been a wild comeback for Botswana. It would have been insane if they had done that, if they had pulled that off. But instead, the gold medal goes to Team USA. The record time, 2 minutes, 54 seconds, .43. Tebogo, 2:54.53. So it was a race that was decided by a tenth of a second. It was really, really, really close. I thought we were going to see the 16-year-old kid out there. We ended up seeing Christopher Bailey, Vernon Norwood, Bryce Dedman, and Rai Benjamin. The 16-year-old Bryce Wilson did not compete. But he will leave Paris with a medal. Head coach, U.S. relay coach Mike Marsh did not select Wilson to run in the final because he struggled running the leadoff during the prelims. So he did run in the prelims. He ran in the heats, but he was struggling, so they subbed him out. They ran with the sub instead. Wilson was meant to be there. Wilson wasn't meant to be the sub. They used the sub instead of Wilson. Quincy Wilson, excuse me. But still kind of cool. Quincy Wilson at 16 is going to get a gold medal. And let's talk about the women's relay. Well, we've talked about Jakob Ingebrigtsen before on this show. Of course, he lost the 3K to Britain's Josh Kerr, as well as to the USA's Cole Hawker. Well, he was back in the men's 5K. This time, no Cole Hawker to steal the gold. The USA had Grant Fisher out there. And his big challenger was Ronald Kwemoy out of Kenya. Kenya, which is, we're going to talk about them in a little bit in more depth, but Kenya has had a really, really impressive Olympics at these games. There was a couple of Ethiopians out there as well. Hagos Geberer got off to a really good start. Biniam Mahari got off to a really good start. And Kenyan Edwin Kurgat got off to a really good start. So, it was, again, we always kind of see this in these long-distance events. Kenyans and Ethiopians are always getting out to the lead really early. And I think their strategy is just go as fast as we can early on because we have the endurance to do it and see how many people we can lose. Because I think they know, at least Ethiopia really struggles with those final legs. It feels like every time in these long-distance races, the Ethiopians are leading until the last couple laps, and then they always slip behind when the rest of the runners start to kick. The Ethiopians just don't have the kick to compete. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a coaching thing. Maybe they just need to put in some more training. But Ethiopia is always so close. I feel bad for them. But Jakob Ingebrigtsen, he takes the win. The Nike-sponsored athlete out of Norway, redeeming himself after not making the podium in the 3K race. So he needed the redemption. He was the favorite to win the 3K, and he didn't even make the podium. He finished 4th in that one. And it was a good battle, I'll be honest. Ronald Kwemoy, I thought Ronald Kwemoy was going to have him at first out of Kenya. Geberer, the Ethiopian, was leading into the final lap. Ingebrigtsen and Kwemoy both passed him up, and then Ingebrigtsen turned it on to win the gold medal. Grant Fisher snuck into the bronze position at the very last second, surpassing D.L. Lobalu, the South Sudanese runner, who is running as part of the refugee Olympic team. Gerbowet ends up settling for 5th after leading for most of the race. Tough on him. Tough luck for him. And Ingebrigtsen now can finally go home and say he has won another Olympic gold medal. He had won I believe he has won golds in Tokyo, but he adds the 5K gold in 2024. Jakob Ingebrigtsen. The Olympics medal count continuing to be a really, really close game, but once again, with just one day, and really it's just a half a day because events end early on Sunday. China still in the lead, and they may win just for the second time. They may win the most gold medals at any Olympic Games. Team USA has won 17 times the most gold medals. Only the Soviet Union previously had won more than once, besides Team USA. So China is looking to become just the third country ever to win the gold medal tally multiple times. USA 17, Soviet Union 7, I believe, or 7 or 6. And then China, UK, France, and Germany each have done it once. So China, if they can hold off Team USA, and they look like they might, if China can hold off Team USA, they would become just the third country to win it multiple times. Japan has come all the way back. They are now in third place with 20 gold medals, 45 total. Australia is across the 50 total medals, but at 18 gold medals, they may end up in fourth. France, 63 total medals, so they're fourth in the total medal, but only 16 golds. The Netherlands is up to 15 gold medals. They have surpassed Great Britain now. Britain with 65 total medals, but just 14 golds. South Korea, 13 golds. Italy and Germany are now at 12, and New Zealand is into the double digits in gold medals. Canada needs one more to reach 10 gold medals. Uzbekistan somehow has won 8 gold medals. I don't understand that. Kenya with 11 medals total, 4 golds. They now have won at least 10 medals in 5 straight Olympic Games as they reach the double digits, the only African country in the double digits. Brazil up to 20 now, representing for South America. Iran now at 12, Ukraine at 12, Belgium has reached 10, and Poland has won their 10th medal, just the 1 gold, but 10 overall medals for them. We are now at 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91. 91 countries have won a gold medal. The record, have won a medal at these Olympics. I believe the record is 93. So we might see a record fall today if things go. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how likely that will be. Team USA still has opportunities to medal in women's basketball and women's volleyball. However, Team China still has opportunities to medal as well. There's some weightlifting happening. There's some cycling happening. There's some wrestling happening. So China has a few more opportunities. Team USA, their last chance is for the women's volleyball and basketball. If USA wins those, they should at least tie China. But it's going to come down to the wire. It's going to be very, very close. Team USA needing to beat France to win it in basketball. And China is licking their lips, I think, at the potential of what would be their second time leading the gold medal count over Team USA. And the lesson from China at these Olympics might just be pick 3 things that you're really good at and just excel at only those 3 things. I'm talking about ping pong right now, table tennis. China achieving the golden sweep as the women's team, grabbing the victory yesterday. They've now won 37 of the 42 golds since table tennis was introduced in 1988. After defeating South Korea in a really good matchup in the semifinals, China took on Japan, a rematch of the team event final in Tokyo from 3 years ago. Of course, it would be China and Japan in this event. That just makes sense. Chen Meng and Wang Manyu were tested from the start. They lost the first game to Hina Hayata and Miwa Harimoto. The Chinese fought back. They took 2 of the next 3 games and sent the match to a decider. So they swept it 3-0 in Tokyo. This time, it was not that easy. The Japanese built a 9-5 lead. But Chen and Wang adjusted their tactics. This is according to Crystal Hu, writing for Reuters. The Chinese tied it up at 10-10 and then closed out the victory. Hayata has been bothered by a wrist injury, was not able to play to the best of her ability. So perhaps if Hayata did not go down with the wrist injury, Japan may have been able to win. The Chinese players got emotional. According to Wang, I felt that today's doubles match was incredibly difficult for both of us. Wang and Chen have now won 4 gold medals for Chen in 2 Olympics. So Chen has won the individual twice, and she's now won the doubles twice as well. How about that? China's Sun Yingxia had her own comeback in the first game against Miu Hirana. The last time Japanese team won, I'm not sure if they ever have, actually. So yeah, China wins all 5 table tennis gold medals. They won the men's singles, the women's singles, the men's team, the women's team, and the mixed team. In Tokyo, they lost the mixed gold to Japan. South Korea, Shin Yubin, Jian Jihee, and Lee Yunhee defeated Germany 3-0 to clinch the bronze, South Korea's first podium since 2008. So a good game for them as well. The men's beach volleyball finals taking place yesterday, and the Swedish team getting the job done. David Ahmed and Jonathan Helvig defeating Nils Ehlers and Clemens Wickler out of Germany. Sweden dominated the event. They win the first match 21-10. They win the second set 21-13. So it was an easy 2-0 win for Team Sweden, who has been so good throughout this tournament. It's crazy, man. A country with no beaches. I guess they do have beaches, but a country that is known for being a cold weather country winning at a warm weather sport like beach volleyball. Good for them. Speaking of, Scandinavia had a good Olympics in volleyball. Norway's Christian Sorum and Anders Moll defeating the Qatar team of Ahmed Tihan and Sharif Yunus. I thought Qatar was going to win based off watching them dismantle Team USA. How wrong I was. Qatar doesn't even podium. Norway taking the bronze. So it was a Scandinavian event dominance. Sweden with the gold, Norway with the bronze. The Swedish team, it was not nearly as close or as good of a matchup as the women's volleyball. Obviously, we saw the women's beach volleyball when Brazil barely beating Canada in a very close matchup. Team USA, this is the first Olympics that they have not medaled in beach volleyball. How about that? Part of that is just because it goes to show how good Team USA is at beach volleyball, that this is the first time we've never medaled at it. It is a bit disappointing, though, because it's a sport that I really like. It's a really fun sport, a sport that I like to play as well. I'm a big beach guy, if you guys can't tell. I love surfing, beach volleyball. I'm a beach guy, beach boy. But no, not able to get the job done for Team USA. So Sweden winning it on the men's side. And let's talk regular men's volleyball as well. Team France, the host country, grabbing another medal in volleyball. They defeat Poland 3-0 in the gold medal match. Team France, led by stars John Patry, Quentin Joffrey, Ervin Nagapeth, Theo Faure, Benjamin Tunati, Antoine Brizard, Trevor Clevenot, and Nicholas Legoff, defeating Poland's. I'm not even going to try to pronounce their names because I'm going to butcher every single one of them. The first set, 25-19. The second set, 25-20. And the third set was the closest, but it was a French win, 25-23. So they sweep the sets. They win it 3-0. As Team France is still looking to push themselves into the top 5 in the medal count in their home country. Congratulations to Team France. In the bronze medal matchup, United States took on Italy, a team led by Eric Shohi, Taylor Averill, Thomas Jaschke, Aaron Russell, Micah Ma, Garrett Muagutia. That's a fun name. TJ DeFalco, Matt Anderson, David Smith, Micah Christensen, and Maxwell Holt. They defeat Italy 3-0. Very, very close. All 3 of the games ended up going past 25. They win the first set 25-23, second set 30-28, third set was 26-24. very, very close all around, but Team USA does pull out the win there as well in a 3-0 win. But USA, now the women's team will go to defend their gold. The women's team takes on Italy today. So that will be an exciting matchup as well. But congratulations to Team France for grabbing the men's volleyball win. Lydia Ko has won the women's golf final at the Olympics. She wins with a score of 10 under. It is Germany's Esther Henseleit who finishes with the silver, 8 under, and China, Lin Jiyu, taking home the bronze at 7 under. Barely missing out on a medal was the Philippines, Bianca Pagdanganan, who was 6 under, tied with Australia's Hannah Green, and also tied with South Korea's Amy Yang and Japan's Miyu Yamashita. So the battle for bronze was a lot more intense, but China does pull it out at 7 under. Germany's Esther Henseleit tried to make a comeback. Henseleit, who ends up with the silver, she was only 2 under going into the final round. She was 7 back of Lydia Ko. In the end, Ko only wins by 2 strokes. Henseleit played a 6 under final round to get from 2 under to 8 under. Henseleit was not on the podium going into the day. She ends up with the silver for Germany, so a great comeback there. And yeah, the bronze medal was a very close to the finish. In the end, though, it was Lin who held off 5 challengers. Lydia Ko, she has been the number 1 ranked golfer since February. She reached the number 1 on February 2nd, reigning Olympic champion at the age of 27, winning the medal for New Zealand. So Team USA, they won for the men's, and now New Zealand winning for the women. The best finisher for Team USA was Rose Zhang. Rose Zhang shot 5 under. It wasn't super close. Going into the day, Ko was already at 9 under. Nobody else was all that close to Ko. The closest actually was Miyu Yamashita, who was 7 under. Yamashita cost herself a medal opportunity by shooting 1 over on the final round. And the United States, Rose Zhang was also 7 under. So Rose Zhang entered the day 2 back of the leader, winds up finishing in 8th with a score of 5 under because she shot 2 over par in the final round. So bit of some tough luck there for the Americans. Also, there was a golfer who was tied. Morgane Mitrau of Switzerland. She was tied for the lead going into the final day. Morgane Mitrau, she shot 7 over. 7 over in the 4th round. She went from 9 under to 2 under. She had a pretty bad final round. Morgane Mitrau of Switzerland, that is. So, really, really tough for her there, to be honest. Yeah, tough for her. But that's essentially where we're at in the women's golf. So congratulations, Lydia Ko of New Zealand, defending her ranking as the best in the world. She has proven it. And that's pretty cool because we've seen now for both the men's and women's Olympics, the number 1 ranked man, Scottie Scheffler, won gold. The number 1 ranked woman, Lydia Ko, also winning gold. The women's water polo finals taking place. Of course, Australia knocked USA out of contention for the gold medal with a shootout win. They took on Spain in the gold medal match. It was a close game, but Spain takes the win. So Spain with an 11-9 water polo victory over Team Australia. The U.S. women lost their bronze medal match, so the Netherlands win the bronze match 11-10. U.S. women shut out of the podium. The men's team for Team USA, they also did not win their semifinal. They're taking on Hungary today for the bronze medal game, while Serbia will fight Croatia for the men. We'll talk about that tomorrow. The Spain-Australia game, it was a good game, a close game. It began last night. Spain winning 9-6 against Greece. Alice Williams and Gabriella Palm for Australia. They tried their best to keep Team Australia in contention, but in the end, Spain's offense was too much for Australia to overcome. So Spain, with a big gold medal. Apparently, Team Australia goes by the Stingers. I'm not sure why. Normally, we call them the Kiwis. But the Stingers, the Stingers take the silver medal, as it was Team Spain that was able to get the job done. Spanish goalkeeper Laura Esther Ramos pulled out some remarkable saves. She was very, very impressive. It was not a shootout win. That was just what the final score was, 11-9. So congratulations to the Spanish women on the water polo victory. We'll be watching the men today, seeing if Serbia or Croatia, two of the smallest countries in the world, which one of them is going to pull out a water polo title. We also saw the women's handball final yesterday in a sport that is apparently dominated by Scandinavian teams. Norway against France in the final, while Denmark took on Sweden for the bronze. Norway defeating France 29-21. Denmark claiming the bronze 30-25 over Sweden. Is this just like only a sport that they play in Scandinavia? I don't know. Team Norway had a good game. 29-21. Their players jumped at the light. Goalkeeper Katrine Lund grabbing the flag and sprinting around. Henny Reisted scoring 8 goals in 12 shots. That's really good. I know we're not big handball followers in Team USA. That's good. 8 goals in 12 shots is really good. Steen Bredal Oftedal chipped in with 5 goals for the 2-time defending European champion Norway. Norway took the bronze in Tokyo in 2021, now with the gold medal. France's Orlaine Kanor scored 5 goals. France was down by 2 at half. Coach Olivier Krumbelhofs, this is his last game. He began coaching this French team in 1998. Unfortunately, I'm sure he would have loved to go out with a bang with a gold medal win in his home country, instead losing to Team Norway. In the bronze medal game, Denmark, who had won gold in 4 straight Olympics, so they've won it in 28, 2012, 16, 21. Denmark lost to Norway. So Norway is the first team other than Denmark to win it since 2004 in women's handball. Athens was the last time that Denmark did not win in handball. Denmark's Mia Højlund scoring 5 goals against Sweden in the 30-25 win. Sweden's players consoled their goalkeeper Johanna Bunsen, who only saved 2 out of 17 shots. Yikes. Nathalie Hegman led Sweden with 5 goals in a 30-25 win for Team Denmark. So it's Denmark with the bronze, Sweden in 4th, Norway with the gold, and France in silver in women's handball. So Faith Kipyegon out of Kenya doing the unthinkable. She has now won 3 straight women's 1.5K, winning the gold medal in the women's 1500. She's also the record holder, the world record holder in the women's 1500 at 30 years old. She won it as a 22-year-old in Rio. She won it as a 27-year-old in Tokyo. Now at 30 years old, she wins the women's 1500. She's the first woman to ever win it in 3 straight Olympics. It is not an easy event. She defeats Australia's Jessica Hull. Jessica Hull was right there with her for most of the race. Jessica Hull, who attends Oregon University, and Great Britain's Georgia Bell, who's also 30. Talk about a fun race, though. Jessica Hull ends up a full second behind her, and it was actually a sprint to the finish between Bell and Hull. Hull beating out Bell by 0.05. 5/100ths of a second was the difference between Jessica Hull and Georgia Bell. Georgia Bell ran a nice race as well. The United States Ellie St. Pierre was quite a bit behind. She ends up in 8th, behind another Kenyan, another British, and an Ethiopian. But Faith Kipyegon is the big story. Kipyegon for Team Kenya. Kenya has really dominated on the track for about the past 5 Olympics. But good for her. She's also the former world record holder in the 5K. So she's won a gold medal in the 1500 meters 3 times in the Olympics, as well as 3 world championships. It is her 6th overall gold medal in the event. Her 6th in the span of 9 years. She also won silver in the 5,000 meter race. Kipyegon, if you remember, she was the one who got disqualified initially from the 5,000 meter, from the 5K, for that little scuttle with Ethiopia. She lost the 5K to her teammate, Beatrice Chebet. Kipyegon was reinstated. They re-qualified her. She won silver. Now she has a gold to her name. So she has 3 Olympic gold medals and 1 Olympic silver medal. She also has 4 World Championship gold medals and 2 World Championship silver medals. Her personal best in the 1500, she just said it, it's a new world record, 3 minutes, 49 seconds, .04. What a race for Faith Kipyegon. The Australian Jessica Hull, at 27 years old, she is the current world record holder for the 2K, which is not an Olympic event. So she's the fastest 2K time, but in the 1.5K, she finishes 2nd. The silver medal. She's the best Oceanian runner in the 1.5K. 5'5" runner who runs for Nike, representing Nike, and goes to the University of Oregon. And meanwhile, Georgia Bell taking the bronze medal. I believe that is her first medal at the Olympics as a 30-year-old. It is. Just goes to show, don't give up on your dreams. If Georgia Hull can do it, if Georgia Bell can do it, so can you. Her first Olympic medal at the age of 30. It was a fun race. It was a good race. The big story, though, again, is Kipyegon. Congratulations to her for making history for Team Kenya. And speaking of Kenyans making history, the Kenyan track team also winning the men's 800-meter race. It was a photo finish you can see in the picture. Kenyan's Emmanuel Wanyonyi winning the gold medal at just 20 years old. He's an 800-meter specialist. He won by 1/100th of a second against Canada's Marco Arop. Marco Arop, those long legs carrying him, the 25-year-old, 6'4". He was right there with him the entire race, and it was a sprint to the finish. Wanyoni putting up a time 1 minute 41 seconds .19. A rope 1 minute 41.2. The United States Bryce Hoppel set a personal best but failed to reach the podium. He finishes in 4th behind Algeria's Jamel Sedjati, who won the bronze. It was a great matchup. Wanyoni, a rope. That was a really fun sprint to the finish. I thought a rope was gonna pull it off. I honestly think if a rope had about 10 more meters, he would have caught him. But instead, it goes to Kenya, who, like I said, has been very dominant on the track. Team Kenya already has more medals than any other African country. They now are the first African country to win at least 10 medals at 5 Olympic Games. They've done it in 5 straight. From 2008 until now, Kenya has won at least 10 overall medals every single Olympics. Only South Africa has ever won 10 medals in Olympics besides Kenya. When we're talking about African countries, they've done it 3 times, but they are not going to do it this year. So way to go, Team Kenya. Really representing in the distance running. That is a distance running country right there. Team Kenya. And continuing to talk about it, let's move over to the marathon race. The marathon is an event that Kenya has also historically really dominated, especially on the men's side of things. And there's always been kind of a rivalry between Kenya and Ethiopia on the distance, because Kenya and Ethiopia are the 2 really good African distance running countries. Occasionally, we'll see other countries get in there. But for the most part, I mean, Kenya, the only African nation to win more than 100 medals in the Olympics all-time medal count. Ethiopia is third, and they're second when it comes to track. South Africa is second overall, but they have a lot of swimming medals. As far as track goes, Kenya is the only African country with over 100 Olympic medals on the track. Ethiopia is the only other country with over 50. So it's always been kind of a rivalry, and Kenya's always been just a little bit better. Ethiopia is like the little brother when it comes to African long distance running. And so Kenya's dominated the marathon for many, many years, which is what made it all the more sweet when Tamarit Tola out of Ethiopia won the gold medal, the 33-year-old, winning gold for Ethiopia in the men's marathon race. He set an Olympic record with his time. He won the bronze medal in the 10K in 2016, but he ends up switching to the marathon. It was a brutal marathon. It was a climb. There were hills all over the place. They were doing it in the city, which was kind of fun. But my gosh, can we make it a little bit easier on the marathon athletes? Like, why are they running all up and down all these hills? I don't know. I don't know why they do it. Kenya does finish with a bronze. Benson Kipruto, who won the Boston Marathon in 2021, the Chicago Marathon in 2022, he takes the bronze medal, the 33-year-old Benson Kipruto, and it's Belgian Bashir Abdi who wins the silver. Somali-born, but he runs for Belgium. Abdi won the bronze in Tokyo. He won the silver at the World Championships in 2022, now winning a silver at the Olympics. So at 35 years old, he has improved his time from 3 years ago. That's Bashir Abdi. Good for him. But like I said, the big story is Ethiopia taking down Kenya, winning the men's marathon. The women's marathon happening today, this morning. Safan Hassan out of the Netherlands. We'll see if she can defend her medal and win a third medal at these Olympic Games. Lesotho's Tabelo Ramakongoa. Congratulations to him. Shout out to him. He was fourth place in the championships last year at 27 years old. We don't often see Lesothan athletes in the Olympics. Tabelo Ramakongoana. Good for him. He finished in 7th place. Won a race in Spokane, Washington, where I'm from, the Lilac Bloomsday race in Lilac, Washington, in Spokane, Washington. So he was recently in Spokane. Kind of cool. I live an hour away from Spokane. That's where I go to college. Kenya, not winning the men's marathon. That goes to Ethiopia. Let's move on. A couple more sports I want to talk about, and then we'll finally be done with the Olympics coverage today. And one more day tomorrow of live Olympics. A full week of Olympics recaps, though. Don't worry, guys. All the Olympics right here. This is the channel. Staying on the track for one more event. New Zealand's Hamish Kerr has won the men's high jump in a jump-off against Team USA's Shelby McEwen. Shelby McEwen ending up not able to win it. Hamish Kerr, 2.36 was the height. McEwen also jumped 2.36. But McEwen failed more times at 2.36. Hamish Kerr attempted a 2.38 and missed all 3 times. McEwen also missed all 3 times on the 2.38. Qatar's Mutaz Barshim wins the bronze, the first medal for Qatar at these Olympic Games. But the big story was Hamish Kerr winning it for New Zealand, as New Zealand now has had a really good Olympics as well. Looking at the women's side, it was a Ukrainian and Australian blowout. Ukraine finishing in 1st and 3rd, Australia finishing in 2nd and 4th. Ukraine's Yaroslava Mahuchik, I think that's how you say it, 22 years old. She wins the women's high jump at 2 meters. So the women, the best they got was 2 meters. The best the men got was 2.36. Wow. Australia's Nikola Jokic, at 27 years old, won the silver in Tokyo, now wins another silver in Paris. Got a feel for her. I feel like if you're Nikola Jokic, you just want to win the gold so badly. You've now won silver twice. I'm sure she's won gold on other world championships. But seriously, man, that sucks for her. She also jumped 2 meters, by the way. But again, in a jump off, she was not able to do it. So Oli Slagers missed her first 2 attempts at the 2 meters. Mahucic made it in her first. They both missed when they raised it to 2.02. Then Ukraine taking the bronze as well. Iryana Gerashenko, at 29 years old, she wins the bronze. She did not make it to 2 meters. She made it to 1.95. And then actually tied Australia's Eleanor Patterson. So it was a shared bronze medal. Eleanor Patterson, who won gold in 2022 World Championships, Eleanor Patterson and Ivana Gerashenko, both at 1.95 meters. They share the bronze. What I'm confused about is that there are other athletes who also jumped the 195. So the United States had a woman. I'm pulling up her name right now. Vashti Cunningham out of the USA. She also jumped a 195. She's the daughter of Randall Cunningham, former NFL quarterback. Among 4 other athletes, there's an athlete from Germany, Cyprus, and Uzbekistan. Elena Kulichenko out of Cyprus, she jumped a 195. Germany's Christina Hansel jumped a 195. And Uzbekistan's Safina Safina Sadulayeva jumped a 195. So why, out of all of them, why didn't they win the medals? It's all about a failure system. So they all made it to 195, but they needed more chances to get to 195. I'm very confused about Cunningham, though, because it looks like she made it on her first attempt. So I don't know how they figured out that she doesn't get the bronze. I guess it's because she failed once at the 191, and that cost her a bronze medal. Wow. It was very, very close. It's all about failure system. But the women's high jump, yeah, really close. Really, really close finals. Well, Emaine Khalif, who we talked about earlier because of the controversy, but Emaine Khalif has won the Olympic gold medal for her weight class. Emaine Khalif defeating Lin Yuting out of China. Both of them had been previously disqualified from international events because they had failed gender tests. But both of them, they were the 2 who squared off in the gold medal match. And Emaine Khalif winning for Team Algeria. Lin Yuting out of China taking the silver. They've been announced as the flag bearers of their countries. Lin for China, Khalif for Algeria. But this does not mark the closure of the issue. It's interesting. The Boxing Association, the IBA, which is Russian-led, disqualified them for missing gender tests, for failing gender tests. They claimed both athletes have XY chromosomes. IBA President Umar Kremlov says they showed they were men. However, there's pictures of them as girls when they're kids. So, I don't know. I seem to think they are probably girls. Russia is obviously known for being very corrupt. And that's what Emaine Khalif says, is that according to her, it's all a plot from Russia to stop her from winning. I don't know. There's also a possibility that she is intersex, that she does have a Y chromosome. The way I go with it is reproductive organisms. And from what I can tell, Emaine Khalif does have women's reproductive... just to put it bluntly, Emaine Khalif does not have a dick. She has lady parts. She always has had lady parts. So whether or not she has the chromosome, whether or not she has more testosterone. I mean, lots of athletes have more testosterone. That's normal for athletes. So in my opinion, if she doesn't have a dick, to put it very, very bluntly, she doesn't have a dick, and she has lady parts, she's a woman. And until any evidence comes out that I'm wrong about that, then I'm gonna continue to support her boxing. So congratulations. She's really stuck it to the people who were making a big deal out of her, though. How about that? I mean, you're the most controversial athlete in your sport for a full week. You should casually win the gold medal. Good for her. Canadian Phil Wizard has won the breakdancing final against France. Trust me, guys, this is the last thing we're going to talk about. Phil Wizard winning 3-0. He won 5-4, 9-0, and 9-0. Danny Dan out of France against Phil Wizard. How about these names? My gosh. The B-boy, Phil Wizard. Yeah, wow. I mean, it was cool watching it. He was a lot better than the girls I saw going on Friday, so I don't know if it's just the men are better at it or if the girls just didn't have the right people there. It's called breaking, not breakdancing. It's not planning on returning for LA, so this might be a one and done sport. If it is, Phil Wizard out of Canada will be the only men's gold medalist. He was supposed to win. He's the world number 1 ranked. Personally, I'd like to see it. I would like to see it, but right now it is not in the lineup for 2028. I think it's the only sport that isn't currently going to be back. According to USA Today, it likely will never be an Olympic sport again. Los Angeles 2028 did not propose breaking. They will be adding lacrosse, flag football, squash, and cricket. But, yeah, kind of tough. For a sport to be included in the regular program, it has to be at the games 3 games in a row. So, even though LA is the country where breaking was born, this is a significant blow to the sport. B-boy Phil Wizard with the win against Danny Dan of France. A lot of silver medals for France. I feel bad for France. They've won a lot of silver medals at these Olympics. They haven't won a ton of golds. As the host country, that must suck. Just putting it out there, that must suck for France. But anyways, congratulations to Phil Wizard, the first and likely the only men's breakdancing champion at the Olympics. He'll always be able to say that.